All right. Hello. Hi. so, as we always start, welcome to Spamantha Sundays. This is a radio show happening every Sunday at V11, which is a boat in Rotterdam, also a bar, restaurant, and all that, event space. And Spamantha Sunday is a radio show where every Sunday for 2 hours, usually from 3 till 5, I invite a guest. And we usually talk about culture, diaspora life. And mainly my guests for now are young artists or just young people who moved from their homeland, so to say, and live in the Netherlands now. So today I have a fabulous guest, but I'll let Vlad introduce himself.
Hello, hello. I am Vlad, Vladimir. Short is Vlad. Thank you for having me, Maya. Yeah, I'm from Macedonia originally, or North Macedonia. I'm 25 years old. I finished in KBK a few months ago in The Hague. That's the Royal Academy of Art. So now I'm a freelance artist, I guess. Graduated and ready to go. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Amazing. So yeah, we did not talk too much about what we're gonna talk about today. So we're giving it kind of like a spontaneous vibe. Um, but there's always something to talk about. Exactly. So basically, we didn't see each other for quite a while. Um, so yeah, I missed you. I missed you. Yeah, we need to catch up, but here is the opportunity. Yeah. So basically, okay. So one of the topics that, of course, like I always, we all, whoever is my guest, we always talk about that. So basically, and also you mentioned it anyway. So I think then we can also start with that. So about Macedonia, a lot of people and I always have to remind myself as well that not a lot of people know about, North Macedonia or Macedonia and about the history, about anything really. So, what's like the most important if you would talk with somebody who doesn't know anything? What's like the most important thing or something that's really special that you think is special about the country and, whatever you want to share?
Okay, good question. What's special? Well, it's a small country in Eastern Europe, right below Serbia, right above Greece, and it's landlocked. And we have beautiful nature. We have really beautiful cities, nice people. There's many things to talk about Macedonia, but I guess to me, the beautiful part, especially now that I've left the country, whenever I go back to my hometown of Bitola, I find these small intricacies in the cities, in the walls of the city. Each brick has a story in there, and while you live there, you don't really see it. Of course, you're used to seeing it. To me now, honestly, everything is quite interesting when I go back because um, I've kind of got desensitized to it when I was there, but now there's a newfound fascination, a newfound kind of uh, I can finally see it as a source of inspiration, the city itself and the country itself. But yeah, that's I guess that would be it. Like for me especially, a lot of small details in the city and in the country are what interests me. There's, as I said, the walls are full of stories. The buildings are full of stories. Every brick has a history, because it's a country where there was a lot of political and economic crisis still is happening. There's a lot to talk about in that, but then what I'm interested the most right now, I guess, is the architecture of my own city, because every single piece of architecture is taken from different places in Europe. That's because there's a lot of consulates in yeah, in my city. That's how we became like a famous city in Macedonia, whatever. And there was a lot of people from all over the world coming in there. And I have a project coming up for a magazine that kind of deals with that. Um, but yeah, I guess that's kind of, yeah, what I like about it.
Um, I remember I was in Macedonia. I think it was good 5 years ago, and I was doing this like Balkan tour just with like a friend, and our end destination was Greece. Uh, so um, so I remember we went to Skopje, and and I was really mesmerized. I mean, I've never been to your city, but there I was really mesmerized. Like, I mean, it was a bit ugly, but I liked it. It
You mean the new Skopje, the new okay, okay.
like with the big statues of like horses and like and the and like water fountains, like huge, and I was like, am I like I'm on a set of a movie or something?
Yeah, we don't talk about that usually. These new statues and things. Actually, we had a lot of talks about them because, as you said, it's literally like a movie set. It's made there to project this idea of our country's like history. It's a new country, Macedonia. It has a lot of history behind it, mainly Slavic, but it's searching still for a new identity of sorts, a new national identity, because we were part of the same country at some point. In 91, I think we were the first one to break apart from. Oh, it's Slovenia. Oh, I'm sorry. My national history is not that good. Sorry, mom and dad. Anyway, um, uh, okay, in 91, anyway, we separated, and then we became independent, and that is kind of already Macedonia and the culture there has been developing for a while, but it was mainly influenced by Ottoman culture, for example, because it was under Ottoman rule for a while, and then other wars were happening in between. But now, so since it's a more or less a fresh country, we still don't have a concrete national identity. Also, because there was a lot of cultures mixing in. So this Skopje 2014 was called the project that you witnessed. It was a whole renovation project of the entire city. Our then prime minister, our ex-prime minister, wanted to invite more people in, more tourists in, by kind of beautifying the city, giving this like whole fantasy of new baroque beauty, um, and it was ironically counterproductive, but not, because people came to see it, but not for the right reason. They came to see it because they read on travel magazines, "Oh my God, look at what this city done to itself." Really, it was a. I saw like in a Wizz Air magazine thing that you get in the airplanes. On the cover was Skopje and the new buildings of it, and I read inside, and it was like shit talking it, but also inviting people like, come see it. It's horrible, but you should see it. It's charmingly ugly. There's a lot of also um, political things behind it, like the money used to build it was supposed to be used for better things, of course, because economy crisis. No, no, no. But yeah, people, I guess, like you, are kind of interested in seeing it, but for the wrong reasons, as I said. Yeah, yeah. But Skopje is the only city in Macedonia that has that big renovation thing happening with all the statues and things. Go see it.
I really liked it though, because it's so ugly. But I didn't really understand. But yeah, then researching about it a little bit, because I remember also back then. So I was with my friend, and we did. There was, I don't know if it still like exists, but back then there was like this website where you could like connect to people living in a city, like locals, and then they like guide you around. I forgot how it's called, but basically we were really into this couch surfing, like adventure, and so we would couch surf, and then we would like go on that website and like find somebody who wants to show us around. So there was this girl who was obsessed with like Serbian culture, but she was Macedonian, so I was like, okay. But she was fun, and she showed us around, and I remember that. Well, first of all, I was really intrigued. I don't know if it's just Skopje because, like, I mean, I don't know too much about the history and culture and all that. I mean, I know, but like not like super much. But I was really intrigued that, like, in the small, like in the old part with the small streets and with the little shops, yeah, the bazaar, that like it was such a mix of like cultures. There was a lot of like like really like a mix of like also like Muslim like influence and like yeah, as you said, like I mean it was like Ottoman like before and all that, and also I remember that there was a like a Arc de Triomphe kind of thing, and and there was like I don't know, back then, so 5 years ago, I don't know what really happened, but it was all like bombed, like somebody threw paint on it, so like there was a lot of like paint everywhere.
Yes, exactly. There was paint on all of these new buildings at some point. Not only in Skopje, but a lot of different cities around Macedonia, because there was huge protests against the party that was in parliament at the time, and the prime minister who had decided to actually build these fake buildings, fake historical buildings, and people had enough because they knew money that could have been used for healthcare and such. There was a big chunk of money used for this stuff. I'm not sure exactly about the numbers, but it was quite big, and people had enough basically, and they decided to protest by we called it the colorful revolution, because we filled water balloons with color and we would throw them on all the buildings, and it was a huge thing. And after that, there were some things that already that it caused quite an impact for example, for the next elections. Um, Fortunately for some, unfortunately for some, the Conservative Party, who was at party at that time, lost, and they didn't get to build all of the things they promised to build. But that was also the hope that the colorful revolution was trying to do. Not only did they like paint the walls with the balloons, but they also very easily broke some of the facades, because it's literally styrofoam. It's literally like really really cheap material, but yet it costs millions. Yeah. But that's the story. That's the story behind it. And I think on some buildings you can still see it, but I'm not sure. Like a staple of sorts, like a yeah. And I like that. I like that. It's a it's a moment of history to be remembered for sure in Macedonian history.
Cool. Now I'm even like happier I went and saw it. But okay, like yeah, talking about yeah, the culture and Macedonia and politics, and so one of the topics we decided to talk also about, and maybe this would be good to dive in now, would be like yeah, queerness in Macedonia and queerness in the Balkans. But I'll let you talk about it because you know much more. So
Well, I mean, I guess I know things, but I was never out queer in Macedonia. I moved here 4 years ago for my studies, and when I moved, I was like, okay, I'm in a country that would accept me, so might as well, be me. Before that, I was very much in hiding, let's say, um, for the reasons that usually in that side of Europe, unfortunately, um, acceptance of queerness, acceptance of anything to do with LGBTQA plus is not on the same level as Netherlands or other countries where it should be, of course. There's a lot of discrimination against queer people, trans folk and stuff. Um, The reason why is because most of the countries there are very much connected to the church. They're very religious, and they have this belief that, the Bible says this is not okay. However, in recent times, I've noticed that there's been a shift, especially in the new generation, people my age more or less and younger. Thanks to the internet, we can self-educate. We can talk and meet people who are of this community, and we can understand. Aha, okay, these are also people, and it's okay. What the generations before taught us is not truth. It shouldn't. We don't have to follow it. Tradition doesn't matter. I mean, of course, it matters, but in this sense, if your tradition follows a path of discrimination, then it shouldn't. Um, but yeah, right now, I think last year we had our first Pride in Skopje. Um, it was also funded by the government, which is good. And we also have our first, I think, open gay bars in Skopje. There's a developing drag scene and such, which I'm very happy to see. There's a community there that's been in a more underground for a while, of course, but now it's more coming to surface. There is, of course, some violence happening against them, but not on a level that it's. Um, there is violence happening whenever they're more out and about. For example, putting up posters. There was an incident in my city. They were putting posters for LGBT people, and they would the other side, let's say, would rip them off and try to fight these guys, these people who are putting the posters. But what I've noticed since I've kind of came out as queer person, whenever I go there and I kind of am my truest self, people bark, but they don't bite. They will say things, they will whisper, they will laugh. But the sad thing is, I'm used to it because I've been in that position since middle school. Um, and so now I'm just like, whatever. You can bark, but not bite. If you do bite, I bite harder, bitch. But yeah.
Yeah, but well said. But the thing is also like I think it's yeah, we can talk, of course, with like aggression, but I think there's also something that is happening and is a bit more like low key, this like microaggressions. um like for example, I experienced something in Belgrade, not myself, but like I was with a friend in this like cafe, this cute place. It was winter and like there was nobody at the place, like there was like it's really tiny, so there was just like the waitress and like three more tables, so it was like really not much happening. And I was just talking to my friend, we were just minding our own business until the waitress started like yelling, literally yelling at this like at two girls who were sitting like on the other side of the cafe, and nobody even noticed, nobody cared, like they were holding hands, nobody noticed, nobody cared, everybody was minding their own business. And then she started yelling at them, being like, oh, you cannot hold hands here, like what the hell, like, and being like, this is not a gay bar, this is a cafe, if you want to be gay, go somewhere else. And I was like so shook that was like max 2 years ago, right? And it was in the center of Belgrade, it was not even in a village, and I was so shook that something like that is still happening. And of course they didn't get hurt or whatever, in a sense of like, when we talk about violence, exactly, they didn't get beaten up, but this microaggression of like, oh my god, you're not allowed to be part of society, basically, like, let the girls drink tea and like let them be Jesus Christ, like, it was so. And I mean, still nowadays when I think of it, I'm like so also angry at myself that I didn't react, or like that I didn't say anything, but I was just so shook that I couldn't grasp what was happening. And the girls, they was just like really scared, and they just like paid and laughed, and then I was just like, and my friend and I, we were just like motionless for like 5 minutes because we just didn't understand what the hell happened. So I don't know. I think the Balkans are still a bit like, even if some good things are happening, that still there's a lot of consciousness change that needs to happen. Do you, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, we have a long way to go, that's for sure. I am glad things are slowly changing. That's where we need to be headed, because there's a lot of queer kids in Macedonia. There is a lot of them, and a lot of them are in hiding, unfortunately. And um, I think having a platform for them, having like a parade, you can have your own opinion about it. You can say like, yeah, this is not what queerness is about, or this is like a more government funded thing, that is a forced thing, whatever. The fact that it's a symbol of queerness in a country where queerness is not accepted, that's already good, I think. Um, one kid who is like in hiding will see it and they will be like, okay, this is then normal. Because so far, until a couple of years ago, it was not normal whatsoever. Um, but I remember for example, after the parade, the next day, no, I didn't go. It was COVID time, and my mom wouldn't let me because it was too busy. Mama's boy, I have to listen to mama. Hi, mom. Anyway, um, after the whole thing happened, I think there was a counter protest or parade. Sorry, kind of as a protest, I guess, by the like religious people, whatever. There was a pope, uh, pope, bishop, especially, yeah, a religious person in the Orthodox Church, the main religious figure. I think it's called a bishop. I don't know. They wear a huge cross on their neck, and yeah, how did they? A priest. Yes, yes, yes. A priest, but like Orthodox priest, so it's different. They were walking in front and they were blessing the streets, cleansing them away with the gay. That was happening for real, and it was like, it was such a scene to witness. I didn't see it firsthand. I mean, in life, but I saw it online, and it was so funny. Uh, I know there was also multiple parades in Serbia, right? Did something like this happen? I believe, like, I was looking at videos also. I know there was people around like screaming, "Oh, pederana," whatever. Like, uh, but not. Was there any counter thing happening?
Um, I have to now officially confess that I've never been to a pride. So I don't know. Like, I just know that there was some kind of incident a couple of years ago, when it was like still fresh, and on that event, this movie Parada. I don't know if you ever watch it. It's a good movie with Nicola Koya. You know Nicola Koya? No. Okay, a really famous like Serbian actor. So it was like they made this movie called Parada, and it's a comedy, but it's actually a really good movie. And it's not a comedy in a sense that it's making fun of gay people or anything. It's more like it was more like a comedy. Just it you have to see it. It's good. It's good. Um, and basically, it's kind of the story how this guy who was very anti, and very right and very buff and very Serbian, and very tattooed and tough, and how he ends up protecting the parade, like from the navijaci. How do you call it? From the yeah, from the hooligans, exactly from the hooligans. So it's a very cool story, but it's based on this event where the hooligans actually killed people at the parade. Yeah, for real, yeah, a true story. So that was a couple of years ago, but then I didn't really hear anything after, like I just know that after that whole incident, actually they made it safer. So actually more police, more all of that. But like the police as well, like you know, they think differently, but they have to obey because they obey everything, right? So that's also, it's just problematic, really. It's really problematic.
Yeah, I also have this kind of um problem or this like thought in my head that we had the parade, we had the pride thing because we have now party in parliament that is pro things like pride and legalization of marijuana as well in Macedonia. We're gonna do it soon, huh? I think if these guys don't go off of parliament, but it's promised to be done. But the thing is, we're on our way to hopefully be part of EU because everybody wants that. We've signed a NATO agreement few months or last year or something or 2 years. I don't know when. Yeah, problematic. Sorry. Yeah, but we did. So the next step would be to go in the EU. So I know these things like pride and whatever are all done. So we have a Western picture of ourselves for the other countries to be like, okay, there's progress in her. Let's take her and you can sit with us. But that doesn't mean that they, in their core beliefs, these politicians are actually thinking this is okay. This is only for show, of course. This is only for us to get in the, albeit I think being in the EU could help us tremendously economically. But there's ethical things here. There's things about yeah, yeah. It just doesn't seem so sincere. That's the thing. But yeah, no.
Yeah, but so since you said this, since you came here, you've had more freedom, or like you felt more free to express who you are. But did you ever like experience here something weird, or like some anything negative in that way, or yeah, because I don't know,
Um, I don't think so. There was like one or two incidents when I purposely held hands with my partner on the street just to see if there's reactions, and there was one reaction, like somebody spitting in front of us or behind us or something, but that's it really. Otherwise, yeah, it was in The Hague. Yeah, 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 yeah. But other than that, no, not really, not so much. Yeah. No, I've been free to express both my queer and gender identity however I'd like, and I noticed that it's just here people don't really give a shit really. I mean, okay, you'll get a weird look or two, of course, if you're a masculine presenting person with a mustache or whatever, and you happen to have makeup. Of course, some people are gonna kind of like glance at you like, oh, that is strange, but that doesn't really matter to me because I am just yeah, I'm doing kind of what makes me feel good, what makes me happy. Yeah. But as far as like negative situations here, no, not really. No. Um yeah, no. Not at all compared to Macedonia especially.
though I also just like uh, I recently had a little talk with not a talk, but it just was like at work I had this like, there was this like break whatever, and there was a couple of colleagues just like laughing at something on Instagram, and it was a queer person, like with mustache and makeup, and they were laughing about it. So I think there's, as you said, like nobody is attacking anybody anymore, but there is this still like thoughts that like, yeah, people are like tolerating, but like I think this word tolerating is terrible. I hate it for all kinds of things. So like I'm just like, why are people still so close minded and like not like accepting and loving and like just letting it go? Like people are still like very much clinging on some kind of really traditional ideas of what things should be. So I'm just like, wow, like again shook like about also just young people still being so close minded.
I know what you mean because I noticed here gay is okay, but queer, non-binary, trans even, it's a bit weird. There is transphobia in the gay community, I've noticed here, which is quite unfortunate. Which is like it's almost not understanding somebody that is almost your own kind. You're same of the same community. You're part of the LGBTQA plus community. There should be an understanding, but yet there is micro transphobia in there through jokes, through like more seemingly small things, but it's still there. I've noticed, and also like in Dutch, you say "doe normaal," which is kind of a normal Dutch saying. If you're gay, you're already in the normaal. But if you're a queer, non-binary, gender non-conforming person or so, you're still not in the normal. So there will be jokes there. So there will be like laughing on Instagram posts. There will be like, kind of a judgmental look. Because here, I've noticed people are very accepting, but they want to conform as well. They want to present conforming. They want to present like they're part of this society that is like kind of one, like everybody more or less looks the same, dresses the same, whatever. But that brings also forth this kind of problem that people for like queer or non-binary, gender non-conforming people, trans people who choose to dress differently or like not normal, they get ridiculed. Yeah, there is an acceptance, but this tolerance thing you said, I agree. The word tolerance is ugly because it's as if you have to like deal with it, live with it, tolerate it. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I don't know if it's like still like a secret or something, but you were telling me something about like a project, a future project you would like to do in Macedonia. Like I don't know if you you want to reveal or you it's still like secret.
Because of reasons, I cannot discuss that now. My apologies. Maybe soon.
Okay, fair. Okay, okay. Because of reasons. Okay, yeah, yeah, reasons. Of course, All right. But there is something we can talk about considering projects. So do you want to tell us a bit about your graduation project? Because it's also connected to Macedonia in a way and your childhood and situation there just generally. And maybe then we can also talk a little bit about one of your other future projects. But yeah, let's start with your graduation project.
I graduated this summer from KBK, from the Royal Academy of Art, and I graduated from the photography department. And I made a work that deals with my upbringing, and it deals about my coming of age in the age of the digital. What is I grew up very specifically, I guess, but there's a lot of people who can relate. I was on the computer since I was 4 years old, so I spent most of my life on the screen. I wasn't that much of an outdoorsy kid. I love to be in the virtual rather than in the physical. So I would sit a lot in front of my screen and just explore these virtual worlds. I would go online. I would play a lot of The Sims, a lot of The Sims. I would play Barbie games. I would play these like all sorts of games. And at some point when I was growing up, I noticed that this video game kind of fantasy, this virtual world, was not the same as in real life. There was no, you know, monsters popping out of nowhere. There was no rockets flying in the sky. There was no fantastical elements that you see in the virtual sphere in the physical, because as a child your brain just absorbs like a sponge, and when you're that young and you're on these in these digital worlds, you see things and you almost take them as fact, even though you know they're not, but your child brain perceives it as such. And I've noticed that's how I was perceiving things. And I thought that's interesting to kind of develop and research as a graduation work. And how it started is that I discovered a lot of videos of me as a kid when I was about 7 or 6 years old. My dad got me a webcam, and I would do these vlogs. Before YouTube was a thing, huh? Before YouTube was a thing, and I have a huge pile of these. I have like archives of these, and I yeah. And luckily, my dad taught me to keep every single file since my first computer. So we have files since 1996, um, which is the year I was born. And yeah, upon rediscovering these, there was a sort of storyline in there that was not fit together. There was not yet like into one coherent thing. And I thought, okay, this is something interesting to explore, and it connects a lot to this idea of growing up in a digital world. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna take these videos and play with them like a child would. So in a sense, I also tapped into my inner child while looking myself as a child, and I recombined them and I made some new footage inspired by video games and such to create this storyline, this narrative that is happening in a quasi-virtual world, quasi-fictional world, the in-between space between virtual and physical, to kind of emphasize this confusion you have as a child about what is real and what is not. And the moment when you grow up, when you realize this is actually reality. Ew, I hate it. Graphics are great, but it ain't The Sims. But that's what the work is about. You can actually go see it in the photo museum here in Rotterdam until 9th of January. Yeah. And there's also a lot of I have a lot of also digital paint drawings that I did as a kid, and they're also exhibited in the installation because it's a video work and a collage work, and it's all part of the installation. Go check it out. It's great.
It is. It really is. Um, okay, cool. That's really cool because I've seen your work, but of course, like there was a description that I could I read and all that, but it's always really nice to like hear actually, and then you understand it better. So I really understand it better now. But like I really liked it when I saw it because I saw it at the graduation show actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's the like new topic you were telling me about? Because I never heard of it. So
I'm now working on a new project. It's still in the very early phases. I'm still developing the narrative. It's going to be a video work again, and I'm still researching the topic that I'm interested in, which is simulation theory. Um, Basically, it's this new age belief that more or less came into play when the digital era kind of started in the late 90s with the start of video games and video game culture and the internet, where there's people that firmly believe that we live in a simulation. The Matrix, for example, it's a perfect example for that. And since The Matrix came out, there was a lot more like speculation that, we could be living in a simulation. Even Elon Musk believes it, I believe. Or he just theorizes it about it. I don't know. Yeah, of course. Of course he would believe this. No, but there is a Swedish philosopher. I forgot the name of him. Damn. He's the one who kind of started theorizing about this, and he wrote an interesting paper about it, and he has valid points about how we can actually be right now living in a simulation. If computer if computer power and if the how do you call it, the progression of digital technology gets better and better exponentially, at some point we will reach a point where it's so great that we could actually simulate the whole like universe and the life that we're living in. So what is there to say that we are currently not living in a simulation from our future, predecessors? That's basically the theory in a nutshell. And I find it really interesting because this, to me, it's a sort of almost new religion. I ask myself that every day. No, but also because I have these sometimes moments, like dissociative moments, when I'm literally like, am I real right now? It's scary moments. but they go for amazing inspiration for work. And that's also what triggered this project. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I see this theory almost as a new religion of sorts, a new belief. It's a belief in something that is unseen, like a god. It's a belief that there's also a hope in this, because when we die, we just either wake up from the simulation, like in Matrix, or our computer program just transfers to something else. It's almost like a religion to me. So that's why in the new video work, I kind of connect the two, the idea of God making the world and the idea of God playing The Sims. So the video work is kind of like um, presenting itself as a video game environment where the main kind of like onlooker of things, let's say God, is creating the world, but in this kind of simulated video game sphere. So that's where the project is at now. Um, yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at now, basically with it, because yeah, it's a fascinating topic to me, and I really want to research further about it and explore it further. Uh, yeah.
Cool. It is though like a bit of a, I mean, it's really cool, but like, for example, if I think about it now, I mean, I had a period when I was obsessed with the Matrix, but like it also freaks me out. It also freaks me out because I am an overthinker, so I'll just go way too deep. But also, it's quite like, as you said, like it's a hope, like, that like, oh, like, I don't know, like, for example, death and things like that really calm me down. Cause then, yeah, because like, then it's like, oh, like, oh, I don't know. I think things more easily when I know they're gonna end. You know what I mean? So I kind of really like, you have to share with me this philosopher dude when you yeah. But cool. Yeah, Swedish people are crazy with things, especially with philosophy. Jesus Christ, they're really like going for it. Yeah, I watched this movie, I think around a year ago or something. It's called A Pigeon Set on a Branch Reflecting on Existence. Literally, that's the name of the. Yeah, you should. I'll send you a link. And the Swedish dude, he's quite like a famous Swedish director. It's like what? He's like, yeah, yeah, but it's good. It's good. There's this moment in the movie, and there's like this dude, just like this gray, this gray environment, a gray day, probably a bit of rain, just the typical. And he's standing in front of like a bus stop, just a public transportation bus stop. And behind him is like a little shop, and there's this dude like just like cleaning like the window or something, just like regular stuff. And this dude waiting for his bus, and he's asking this other dude, he's like, is today Tuesday? And he's like, no, it's Wednesday. And he's like, is it really Wednesday? Because it feels like a Tuesday. And the other dude is like, no, it's Wednesday. And he's like, but it could be Tuesday. And it's like
Really banal stuff.
so it's about like, it could be I don't know, it's about like time, and like it just, I'm like, what the fuck, I like, but it's good. Okay, so okay, I'm really curious to see your new project as well. Really curious. But yeah, do you have anything else to add, or because yeah, we're coming to the end of the talking part, and we are slowly moving to the music part. So is there anything you want to tell us about the music before we start playing?
Oh, my phone is really warm. Sorry. Oh, I thought my camera is on or something. Sorry about that. I thought it's heating up. Not really. Nothing. Anything to add to what we were talking about before. But I can say about the music that it's very appropriate for a nice, chill Sunday afternoon/evening. You'll be hearing a bit of hardcore 90s vibes, some 90s trance and 90s happy trance, that sort of thing. We got some Sophie in there. We got some, yeah, mostly 90s things. Hope you enjoy it. No, nothing from Macedonia. See, I'm really bad at, like, I don't know. I don't know any music from Macedonia. Like I know like two artists, Toshen, Calliope. Nor do I listen that much to Macedonian music, but I'll get there at some point. Yeah, yeah. But for now, let's stick to 90s trance.
Thank you, Vlad.
Thank you, Maya. Slash Spamantha. Miss Spamantha.
All right, let's crack on.
What we got troubles out of reach. Below my weightless body, a red and golden ocean spreads. The licking flames are shining. Lava right ahead, ignoring pending dangers, appearance and reality. And through the sky I'm falling, all troubles out of reach. Below my weightless body, a red and golden ocean spreads. The licking flames are shining. Lava right ahead, ignoring pending dangers, appearance and reality.
can join the crowd. Life is cool without sound. Where the crazy people meet on the street with no name. If you wish upon a star, here's the place. Club Bizarre. Come together in a dream. Maybe we can join the crowd like days. Club Bizarre. Come together in a dream. Maybe we can join the crowd. Life is cool without sound.
not to hurt me. The only thing I felt was pain, so let me go. Whenever you said, come on, trust me, I knew that it will be the same. I hate to love you. 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 Love, hate, is it heaven or is it hell? Sun, rain, there's nothing more to tell. I hate to love you. 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 One day you came around, you turned my world upside down. With your eyes you touched my soul, you made me strong, you made me whole. Every time you're close to me, I feel so high in ecstasy. I'm in heaven when you're around, you take me to a higher ground. You fill me up with your emotions, taking me away so far. Fill me up with these emotions, awakening on a star. You fill me up with your emotions, floating on a gentle breeze. Fill me up with these emotions, under my skin. Still I'm free. Still I'm free. Still I'm free. Your love has set me free, 'cause you mean the world to me. My emotions are running wild, but deep inside I feel like a child. Innocent, small and pure, you make me feel so secure. Please believe me when I say I need you here with me. Stay. You fill me up, you fill me up, you fill me up, 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 fill me up. You fill
Deep in the bosom of the gentle night is when I search for the light. Pick up my pen and start to write. I struggle to fight dark forces in the clear moonlight without fear. Insomnia. I can't get no sleep. I used to worry, thought I was going mad in a hurry, getting stressed, making excess mess in darkness. No electricity, something's all over me, greasy. Insomnia, please release me and let me dream of making mad love to my girl on the heath. Tearing off tights with my teeth, but there's no release, no peace. I toss and turn without cease, like a curse. Open my eyes and rise like yeast. At least a couple of weeks since I last slept, kept taking sleepers, but now I keep myself pet. Deeper still, the night I write by candlelight. I find insight, fundamental movement. So when it's black, this insomniac, take an original tack. Keep the beast in my nature under ceaseless attack. I get no sleep. I can't get no sleep. I can't get no sleep. I can't get
function anymore. Leaving logic and reason to the arms of unconsciousness. Leaving logic and reason to the arms of unconsciousness. Let's get unconscious, honey. Let's get unconscious. Let's get unconscious, honey. Let's get unconscious.
Thank you. Bye.